What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? It is snowing outside, and it took me a minute to get things together. Finally found my keys for the studio. So we back on for the studio in the morning. And life is incredible. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel today? Y'all feeling good? Y'all feeling incredible? Yeah. It's beautiful out there in Houston. Oh my God, it's bad here. Well, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but the weather is not ideal. It's snowing outside. I heard New York is about to get um a bunch of snow. What's going on, friends? How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Great Sunday to AD, friends and family. And we got frame fights tonight. So I don't know how many of y'all are in the movies like that, but we do have frame fights tonight on After Hours, so that should be lit. I will tell you that, man, I am in such a good space. And I don't know, but life is just feeling incredible right now. I'm not even interested in being outside like that. A lot of people been asking me if I'm going to the fight. Charleston was like, am I going to the fight? Because we're going to be creating content. I ran into Lowe's. He said, am I going to the fight? Bunch of people. That's the big thing. It's like the New Edition concert. Everybody was outside. Everybody asking you if you're going to the fight. For me, I was just like, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Enos Louie says, it must be me, but I love that feature with an iPad Pen Max to the iPad. It's the small things. Bro, this is life for me. I write all of my notes. I do everything that I can do on this iPad. So this iPad is popping to me. What's up, friends? Slow motion is better than no motion, your car. I heard about that. We're going to talk about Zoran Mom Donnie asking people if they want a shovel. So I'm going to read the super chats and cash app shortly, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. If any of you are a part of the Patreon, then you are more than welcome to join us on a live stream tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, join us on a live stream. We're going to be talking about content creation. We're going to be going in from there. I want to say shout out to Tatiana. Says 2 Corinthians 9:6. Let's see. 2 Corinthians 9:6. King James Version. But I say this, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. Shout out to you. Okay, I see you, Tatiana. All right, baby girl. Thank you. Thank you, Tatiana. I appreciate you for holding me down. Also, want to say shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. Mike That Dude has been holding me down. Thank you, my friend. We don't miss. We are bag chasers and we do not miss. Let me see what y'all talking about inside of the chat. I see Coach Chris with a bunch of them. Daniel, Trey Day. All right, let me go through Coach Chris's first. Do you have an accountability partner in your life? Yep, Jesus. Jesus is my accountability partner. Was Social Security always a Ponzi scheme? I believe so, because the politicians was always going to raid it. Today is my 26th anniversary day at work. Bag chaser, shout out to you. Appreciate you, bag chasers. You go to church or follow the God in you? I go to church as much as I can. I try to. I just don't talk about that aspect of my life because I'm becoming more reclusive with certain details within my life. And so if you don't see it on a vlog, or if you don't see certain things posted on the vlog inside of the Patreon, because all of my vlog updates and everything that's happening behind the scenes is going on Patreon, then you're not going to hear about it in real life. Sent a few emails for coaching sessions, but do you think everything in the Patreon and the live streams is just as effective at helping change lives? I think what's in the Patreon absolutely can be used and leveraged to change lives. But if you want like specific questions or something or conversation that's tailored to your life, it's not even about a coaching call. It's just about having a conversation with me personally, which a lot of people continue to say that's what they want to do. Then we're going to turn that back on and we're going to get it popping. You know what I'm saying, Coach Chris? So, yeah, I'm going to be starting that back up, and I'm going to start scheduling that next week. So we'll be answering coaching calls with that. Anton by the Pistons while they're winning big. What you mean by the Pistons? I'm a season ticket holder. And they raise the prices. Trey Day says, why Jazz hating on you now? Shaking my head sad. Let's see what she's saying. You make these people, and then they turn out however they turn out. They get 1,000 subscribers, and then all of a sudden, you wanted to fuck them. All right, I got you. Well, let me go on Instagram, block, just completely remove them. Go on Instagram and block real quick. And there that is. All right. Problem solved. Just remove yourself. Just remove yourself altogether and keep it moving. All right. So y'all ready to continue on with the show? You block it and you keep it moving, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Y'all ready? They get 1,000 subscribers and all of a sudden, that's what's up. But we're not going to entertain it. We block it. We learn as we go. We figure out who's who as we go. And we make adjustments and you go from there. All right? Never thought that I'd be blocking people in real life. But I guess that's what it is. Day Shift says, yo, AD, I've been watching for 6 months. I love what you're doing. I'm 20 in college and wanted to join the Patreon. Should I keep sitting on my hands or join? That's up to you. That's up to you. You got to make the decision for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to make the decision if you want to join in with a group of people that's looking to go in a certain direction. If you want additional mentorship, if you want additional information, you want the behind the scenes, you want insight on real estate, you want insight on anything marketing related, content creation, how to level up in corporate America, AI, join in the Discord, coming to the meetups this summer. If you want all of that, then join. If you don't, then it's up to you. For all of you that are in the Patreon, make sure y'all tap into the Discord. Link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent Patreon updates. All right. So, yep, there we go. All right. Let's get into it. So I want to get into it. Well, first of all, let me back up for a minute. Have y'all seen about Vince McMahon? We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about van life. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bears. We're going to talk about a lot of things. All right. Vince McMahon smashed his Bentley driving over 100 miles an hour. Have y'all seen that? Let me share my screen with y'all really quickly. Right after the dude, remember the dude that was in the Ferrari in California that wound up killing himself coming out of that tunnel, and then he hit a rock and he just completely ended himself? I forgot about what his name was, but it was a guy that just killed himself. Hold on, let me see something. How did he crash? Yep, that'll do it. Wasn't paying attention, probably on the phone, doing 100 plus miles an hour, or was caught at some point doing 100 miles an hour, was about to rear end somebody else, tried to swerve over, and then wound up hitting the side median. And he still hit the other one. Was a state trooper following him? Because it almost seemed like he was running from the state trooper. Felt like the state trooper was about to pull him over.
You need an ambulance?
No, I don't.
All right. Why were you driving over 100 miles an hour?
It's my granddaughter's birthday. I got to get this the next day.
Right. Did you see me trying to catch up to you behind you?
I didn't see that. I saw lights, but it didn't look normal.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to you, and you keep taking off.
Oh, no. I'm not trying to outrun you.
I know. I understand that, but that's why I was very confused. All right? Because it wasn't like you were running. It was just like you almost hit, I think, 115 miles an hour. All right? And then you just hit someone because you weren't paying attention. Were you looking at your phone?
No, I'm trying to drive. No, I'm not looking at my phone.
The person was right in front of you. There's got to be a reason you hit him.
No. I haven't been driving my car in God knows how long.
All right. It was right in front of you. You went straight at it.
He sounded like he drunk, or either he dazed from the crash.
100 miles an hour. I'm just making sure you're not having a medical condition or anything. Do you need an ambulance?
No, it's not.
All right. Just your registration. Is your license in here?
Yes.
These people look weird, bro. They look so weird.
All right. Just your registration.
They look like mannequins.
Is your license in here?
Yeah, it's in my pocket.
All right.
Stupid fool.
These people look so weird, bro.
An ambulance?
No, I don't. No.
It's fast, I'll tell you that. Do you need an ambulance?
No.
All right. All right. Just your registration. Is your license in here?
No, it's in my pocket.
All right.
Stupid fool. I've been driven this car quite some time.
It's fast, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, too fast.
Oh, the seats are close too.
Thank you.
Bro, these people, he looks so weird, bro. He looks so weird in the face. I don't know what that is. But dude was going, they say that he was going upwards of close to 115 miles an hour. A lot of these guys lose their lives like that. They lose control, they lose speed, they drive like they don't know. And a lot of them can't even really drive that good. So I don't know. I know one thing. I bet you he didn't go to jail. Yeah, he blamed the car for going too effing fast. He blamed. Man, this car is too effing fast. He blamed the car for going too fast. But let me show y'all something else. Watch this. And I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with this whole situation. Let me see something real quick. They don't talk to Vince McMahon in the same way that they talk to not Glorilla. Glorilla, she had got pulled over to Sha'Carri Richardson. This is what I'm saying. When y'all was trying to give me shit and say, no, Anton, it's her fault. He need to be talking to her like that. He need to hold her accountable. What I'm telling you is that she catch hell, regardless of how y'all want to feel about it. It don't make her right for the things that she do. It don't make her right for the way that she drive. But they don't talk to Vince McMahon the same way that they talk to Sha'Carri Richardson. When they pulled over Sha'Carri Richardson, they was treating her like a little kid. They didn't talk to Vince McMahon like that, and Sha'Carri Richardson was going as fast as Vince McMahon. Matter of fact, Vince McMahon was clocked going faster than Sha'Carri Richardson. And I'm not saying this because she black or none of that stuff. I'm not going into the victim Olympics, but y'all are harsher and society is harsher when it comes to Sha'Carri Richardson versus how they deal with and talk to a Vince McMahon. And then y'all was sitting here having a conversation with me saying, no, Anton, no, you wrong. She was going too fast. Y'all was holding me accountable saying she could have hurt somebody and this and that. We was having conversations on after hours and we was going back and forth and y'all swore up and down. Y'all swore up and down. I don't see nobody in the chat acting the same way that they was with Sha'Carri Richardson and having conversations with me the way that they was having conversations about Sha'Carri. As I said, oh, she should deserve some grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're not going to still hold her accountable. It's not like you're not going to still give her a ticket. He told her when he walked up to the car, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. You're going to jail immediately. I'm just telling you the truth. Look at Fi Brown. Nah, AD Vince is more famous than Sha'Carri and famous decades longer. The cop knew that was Vince. I don't think Sha'Carri cop knew who she was immediately. So wait a minute. What you telling me, Fi Brown? Because now y'all showing y'all bias now, right? So now what you telling me is that fame, because he's been famous longer and he's richer, that he deserves to be treated differently than Sha'Carri Richardson, even though he was going faster and he ran into somebody and he hit the side median. Now I'm turning into Slimmy and Molly. No. This is not about Vince McMahon. This is not about Sha'Carri Richardson. This is about y'all. This is about y'all. This is about showing y'all bias. This ain't about neither one of them, because whatever is going to happen to them is going to happen to them. I believe that everybody should be treated the same. I believe the same way that Sha'Carri should be treated is the way that Vince should be treated, and the way that Vince should be treated is the same way Sha'Carri should be treated. I think it should be standard across the board, and it shouldn't matter whether you black, white, woman, or man, famous or not famous. I believe that whatever it is, it should be straight across the board. This shows the bias in y'all, because y'all are the ones that's defending him because he is older, if he's older and more famous, then that means that he really should be held more accountable because he knows better and he's been on this earth longer. I know it's not the reality. That's why I'm bringing it up. Said Vince was cool and collected. Sha'Carri was spazzing. No. Sha'Carri was fearful and Vince was discombobulated, and the nigga didn't even seem like he knew where he was. Come on, listen. Y'all not going to sell me on the fact that, no, Vince was cool and collected. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He didn't even know what was going on. I see where the problem is. The problem is the people. The problem is the people. This is why we have things play out the way that we have it play out. He looked drunk. He did look drunk. He acted like he was inebriated. The problem is that y'all have respective persons. You know what respect a person is? Let me tell you what respect a persons is. We talk about it in church a lot. Respect of persons shows respect of persons. We call it respect of persons, not respect for persons, respect of persons. It's biblical. It means showing partiality, favoritism, or bias based on a person's outward appearance, status, or wealth rather than their intrinsic merit. It's not merit-based. It's based off of whether you like them or not. And this is what the problem with social media is. This is the problem with the internet. This is the problem across the board. What's up, Destiny? Y'all have a different perspective because you don't like Sha'Carri Richardson, which means that you're unable to remove your bias against her in order to make an informed decision. Because you don't like her, you want her to burn. And so you got to learn how to listen. If you're ever going to be successful in life, because the one thing that we push inside of this chat, and this is the reason why I don't censor people, and I just say, yo, listen, just try not to be biased in any way, shape. I mean, not biased. Try not to be super disrespectful, right? Try not to be super disrespectful. We go back and forth and we disagree with each other all the time. And if you ever want to be incredibly successful in life, if you ever want to have the qualities of a great leader in corporate America, if you ever want to do any of that, you're going to have to learn how to look at things clearly. And you have to learn how to be and not have respective persons, because you make decisions on how you rocking with a person at a time, and that's fickle. You're making an illogical decision based off of your emotions. Y'all got a different perspective for Sha'Carri Richardson because I called it plainly, and you don't like her. You don't like her. So you have a different perspective and a different way that you think police officers are supposed to treat her. And that's the thing that we're against. We supposed to be equal across the board, right? It's not. Listen. Terrence, you think that I'm saying this as a part of how the world operates. I know how the world operates. Money, power, respect is the key to life. The locks told us that. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us. We are not as consistent as we try to make ourselves out to be. I don't care about the world. I care about the chasers. I care about my own people. I care about my own subscribers. I care about my own chat. I care about my own chat. I don't care about what the world thinks. I don't care about what everybody else is thinking. I'm going based off of how I saw you guys communicate here in this chat. You're not a chaser to GOAT, so you wouldn't know. You don't know shit about what we got going on, baby girl. All right. All right. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. I'm just going to call it out. The hypocrisy. I'm going to call it out. Y'all try to call it out when it comes to me. Oh, okay. I'm going to call it out when it comes to you then. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let me see what y'all talking about in super chats. Daniel says AD dude tried to get Trump this time in Mar-a-Lago. I don't know what that means. Manny Plays PC says, what up, Anton? Did you catch the men's hockey USA versus Canada game? US won the gold. I didn't. I don't follow hockey. Right now, the only thing I'm following is Cade. I'm only following Cade Cunningham. We call him Motorcade here in Detroit. And so that's the only thing we care about. We care about the fact that the Pistons is number one in the NBA, and we're going to go and win the championship, and we're going to go from there. All right? That's the only thing that we care about right now, sports related, is Cade Cunningham. We don't care about nothing else that's happening in the world. Not men's hockey. We don't care about bobsledding. We don't care about none but Cade. That's all we care about right now. All right? What else is going on? What else we want to tackle today? We want to tackle the Chicago Bears, Vince McMahon. I'm surprised. Another illegal migrant was arrested in a truck driving accident. We're gonna get to there in a minute. Let's see what we got. Hate it when they have me on one side. I got to switch over to premium on another side. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears really quickly.
Our next guest is all in on this move, saying Indiana is open for business. The governor, Mike Braun, joins us now. Governor, it's great to see you. I never thought in my life I'd be talking to the governor of Indiana about the Chicago Bears moving to Indiana. That's what we're doing here. But I got to tell you, J.B. Pritzker had some strong words about Indiana there in the clip that we showed. Nobody wants to go to Indiana. They don't take care of their workers and they don't provide health care. I wonder if you'd like to respond to that governor next door about what's going on with the Bears right now.
That sounds like somebody that believes in big government and is kind of floundering from what they used to have as a state and a city that probably was run a lot better. And when you look at the simple fact that our GDP growth is twice that of Illinois, and the number of people that have been moving in, I think I heard a stat where Fort Wayne, all the way over in the northeastern part of the state, its biggest population influx from the Chicago area. When you double down on heavy regulations, high taxes, people will vote with their feet eventually. And we are an enterprising state, and economic development, since I've been there, we've spent 1/3 the amount on incentivized jobs and raised wages by over 10%, 36 to 41 bucks. All kinds of stats that would counter everything he said. They've gotten a good peek at what doing business in a state like Indiana would be. And by the way, they started this conversation 3 years ago. 2.5 years, cold shoulder. Bears came to us. We've been working with them, and they know what it's like for a state that's open for business.
You know, Governor, why do you want the Chicago Bears to move to Indiana? You know, what are the financials on it? What do you get out of it?
So we, same thing when the Colts moved from Baltimore. It's been a wonderful thing to have in our capital, and it's been a success story. We are the headquarters for the NCAA. It's a sports state. It's also a state where people are moving into, just like many other red states, because we're not growing government. We're growing freedom, opportunity, and a great place to raise a family and build a business.
That's a really smart statement right there. We're not growing government, right? Meaning that all of the jobs, if any, all of the opportunities, if any, all of the motion, if any, is coming from private entities. And the state's job, whether you're talking about the Chicago Bears or whether you're talking about a business or manufacturing, there was a time when you were thinking about manufacturing, you were not thinking about leveraging the UAW. You were not thinking about opening up an auto plant in Detroit, even though Detroit was the home and the headquarters for Stellantis, formerly known as Chrysler, Ford, and it was the headquarters for General Motors. Auto manufacturers that came here was not looking for the expertise of manufacturing from the UAW because they had made it so hostile, so difficult. People were seeing how difficult it was to negotiate with the UAW for wages and new product and all of that type of stuff. And so the UAW and the unions, basically, red tape had made it so difficult for you to open up plants and to do business in the same way with them that they decided to go to more business-friendly climates like the South. That's why you've seen the proliferation of Toyota, Hyundai, Honda, Mercedes, any manufacturer that was opening up, BMW, they all opened up mostly in the South. And it was because Southern states and red states had made it more viable, economically viable, and they understood the importance of having that infrastructure and those jobs in that state for, and for them to be able to do business. That what they did was they started to open manufacturing plants in the South. Now, eventually, all of those UAW representatives started to try to move down South, and they're still having a lot of trouble unionizing those plants after decades and decades. Even Tesla was founded in California, right? Meaning that they were always supposed to be a technology company, but when they decided to move and started to expand, because they just built plants where they were designing, developing, and ultimately manufactured cars and trucks down there in California, they decided to expand where? They moved to Texas. They started moving out of state, out of the country, and they started to move to Texas because it was a more business-friendly place to do business, which then incentivized them to have SpaceX and all of those other places have their headquarters in different places, right? So It's the same thing when it comes to teams. It's the same thing when it comes to businesses. They're going to open up in places that the cities, the states, the counties, and the governors make it friendly to do business. They are not just trying to go in a place to do business. They're not like us, right? Content creators, regular people, they move to places that got motion, right? They move into places that seem popular. They move to places where it seems like everybody is partying and having a good time in a good metropolis and all of that. That's not how it happens when it comes to business. Business leaders, they realize, you know what, I can live anywhere, but I'm trying to look at where my dollar stretched the most, where I can get the best workers, where the universities is helpful, where we can actually work with the governors, where the business, the climate is friendly. And so that is why you're starting to see teams pay attention, because it only take a few teams to do it, right? It only take a few teams to say, you know what? We're going to move over from here to this other Kansas City, right? We're going to pay attention to this over this. And I guarantee you, the NFL product is so strong. It is so strong. People love football so much. If you think that they are not going to go 15 minutes up the street from where Soldier Field is to go to a Bears football game, you're crazy. You're crazy. They're absolutely going to go 15 minutes up the street. Listen, they already, in my opinion, lost them in Chicago. People would rather go to Hammond, Indiana than they would to Arlington. People would rather go to Hammond than they would to Arlington. They don't want to go out to the suburbs. They want to go right up the street. And they're going to drive right up the street and go and party over there. Because people are loyal to their team. They're loyal to their team. In Detroit, we drove all the way out to Auburn Hills. Auburn Hills is damn near 40 minutes outside of Detroit. 40, 45 minutes depending on traffic. We drove from Auburn Hills. We drove from Detroit all the way out to Auburn Hills to go see the Pistons win the championships in 04 and 05. 90, 91, or 90, 89, 90. We drove all the way out to Auburn Hills to go see it. Pontiac Silverdome. Lions fans, they filled that mug up. There was so many people in the Pontiac Silverdome. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't even realize that the Pistons actually played at the Pontiac Silverdome also at one point. And then when they moved back, when all of the fans got used to them being out in Auburn Hills, and they moved back in the inside to Detroit, guess what they did? They drove right on over to Little Caesars Arena. They drove right on downtown to Ford Field, where the Lions play right now, and where the Pistons play. People are loyal to their team, and after a couple years, they don't even remember what it was. They don't even, the old people that used to go out to those places, they remember once you start tearing the stadium down, and then they forget about it once they put an Amazon facility at that former site.
You know, I've driven through that part of Indiana where the proposed stadium would be for the Chicago Bears, and it seems like it would be a big lift to make that area a great area for a sports team. Should Indiana taxpayers be excited about that possibility?
So when you're looking at it with all the savings they would have in property taxes alone, the Bears are putting a lot of skin in the game.
We're going to talk about it tonight on Frame Fights.
And it's near, I mean, it's like South Chicago there. So you're going to have an easier place to get to for many. Arlington Heights is congested up that way. And they've been working on that as a proposal for all that time, and it just never moved. So they weren't making the deal that needed to be done, and now it's run out of time. The Bears came to us. We've been working with them 4 to 5.
Ooh, see, I didn't know that. See, see, that changes things. He said the Bears came to them. Oh yeah, if I had to bet, and I don't even like to bet on random stuff and all of that type of stuff. If I were a betting man, I would say that they are absolutely, positively going to move to. Brandon Johnson ain't even in the conversation anymore. They asked Brandon Johnson what he thought, and he was so clueless. He not even in the conversation anymore.
Kevin Warren have released a statement. Yeah,
Great. And I've said repeatedly that the door is always open for conversations, and, Kevin Warren did call me yesterday. We didn't get a chance to connect, and I still firmly believe that their best position is in Chicago, and it's evidence. The evidence is clearly speaking for itself.
In that statement, Kevin Warren says this is not a leverage play. Do you believe that?
Look, I can't get into the psyche and the motivation of this organization. We're all grateful that, there's a winning team on the field. This weekend, obviously, is an incredible clearance. And my position has been very clear. You all know that there's not been a politician in this city that has worked as hard as.
It's over, bro. It's over. They leaving. They going elsewhere. He said that the Bears came to them. They didn't even go out. They didn't even have a thought. It wasn't even in their head to, hey, man, we about to go steal the Chicago Bears from Chicago. The Chicago Bears organization said, hey, man, somebody get the governor of Indiana on the phone and let me get them and see what's happening. They came to them and said, hey, man, is it possible we can work with y'all because it's fucked up in Chicago? And they say, yeah, man, and you can still name them and keep them the Chicago Bears. Hell yeah. They said, hey, can we sleep on your couch? 100% you can.
Moved. So they weren't making the deal that needed to be done, and now it's run out of time. The Bears came to us. We've been working with them 4 to 5 months, but just this week, it moved far enough along to where we enabled it with legislation, and they put out the statement that kind of directs traffic here over the next couple months.
All right.
To flee a blue state for a red state might be the Chicago Bears. Indiana is in talks with the team about building a new stadium in their state, leaving Illinois leaders stunned.
Here to react is former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, along with our very own Adam Klotz, who's our resident expert on Indiana.
Yeah.
So, Governor, tell us, first of all, what are the real prospects of this actually happening?
Oh, I think it's become a lot more real over the last couple of days than it ever was before. The Indiana legislature did what it did, and it caught our governor asleep. Frankly, he's been outplayed by the Indiana governor. Governor Pritzker really is guilty of gubernatorial malpractice. And this isn't the first time a major business is about to leave Illinois. Just think about what's happened to our state in the last couple of years. In 2023, 218 businesses left Illinois. Citadel has left Illinois.
In 2023, 218 businesses left Illinois. That's crazy. And guess where they go? When they leave Illinois, do you know where they go? They go to other competing states. They go to Michigan. They go to Indiana. They go to Ohio. They go to Georgia. They go wherever it is that they need to go. That's insane, bro. Do you know how many jobs, how much opportunity, how much tax revenue is leaving the state? Y'all are absolutely destroying your state and city. I just can't believe that Chicago is just, and it's all because the voters got bad leadership in there. All because of bad leadership. Y'all got now you about to lose a team. Oakland lost all of their teams. They lost the A's. They lost the Raiders. They lost Golden State Warriors. Lost everything. Oakland lost all of their teams. Both of them went to Vegas. The A's went to Vegas. The Raiders went to Vegas. If y'all ever been to Allegiant Stadium is incredible. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. I love Vegas. Might be my second favorite city or my third favorite city. I'm always going to love Detroit more than anything. Detroit is always going to be home. No, I would say Vegas is my second favorite city to visit. Not to live. I wouldn't ever live there. But Vegas is definitely my second favorite city to go and visit. Love going to Vegas. It's always a cajillion things to do. Allegiant Stadium is dope. The Oakland A's, or the former Oakland A's, the Las Vegas A's is about to be out there killing it. The Sphere was awesome. I love the Sphere. It's about to be Chicago, baby.
Caterpillar has left Illinois. Boeing has left Illinois. Mayor Daley and I were instrumental in bringing Boeing to Chicago. Tyson Foods has left Illinois. Nearly 1 million people have left Illinois. Why? Because Pritzker has raised taxes and fees more than 50 times. He spent $3 billion on illegal immigrants, migrants, and apparently doesn't have the money or has paid the attention to try to keep the Bears in Illinois. So he's been outplayed and outflanked by this Indiana governor because his priorities are all about defending sanctuary for illegal immigrants, tens of thousands of whom he knows are violent criminals, and he's turned his back on a working class fan base of the Chicago Bears because we love our Chicago Bears and we don't want to see them leave.
Let me tell y'all something. When y'all vote next election, 2026, 2028, whenever y'all have y'all local elections, I want y'all to remember this. When you vote for your politician, you have to understand that your politician is the CEO of your state and the CEO of your city. You would never pick a CEO to run your company based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion. You would never pick a CEO to run your company, meaning that if you own a company, would you ever pick somebody to be the leader of the company that has no business acumen and is a former teacher, is a advocate, is a community protester, is a socialist? You know why? Because they are competing against other cities. They're competing against other states. They have to have great negotiating power in order to work together with the city council to push things through. They have to have a great rapport with the president of the United States of America to ensure that they get as many federal dollars as possible or can get research dollars. Your universities, your institutions, they have to have a great rapport with business people that can and will move their businesses to other states. You're electing the CEO of your state, of your city. City council members are like Congress members. City council is many Congress members. That's all they are. They're many Congress members. They control the purse strings to the city. We're going to get into that when we talk about New York shortly. When you elect these people, you are electing business people. So if your business person has no business acumen, they will bleed your city dry. Over time, it is going to be desolate, destroyed. Property taxes is going to go up. The city services is going to be less. The debt is going to go up. And eventually, y'all going to be handed over into fiscal management through bankruptcy because you're competing against other states. Ohio is competing against Michigan. Michigan is competing against Illinois. Illinois is competing against Milwaukee. Milwaukee is competing against Kansas City. Kansas City is competing against Minnesota. All of these states are competing, and they're creating a better environment for businesses to be able to thrive, and they continue to work with them all the time. They build relationships with them. Hey, man, listen, whenever you want to move from New York down to here, if you want to move from Chicago, we got a great opportunity for y'all to create jobs down here, man. Listen, we're going to give you all of the tax incentives. Just build the products, build the companies, and we're going to give you the tax incentives. We want the jobs. You want the opportunity. Hey, man, it's a win-win for both of us. People that know how to negotiate effectively are the ones that's going to win and that have a business perspective. Fuck this protesting and all of that stuff. Nobody cares about that in the business world. I'm telling you. You got to look at it from a business perspective.
Governor, I grew up in northern Indiana. We all say, I'm from Chicago. Everyone says that all the time. They're not.
Look at that man's bangs. Look at his bangs. Got all of them bangs right in front of his eyebrows, in front of his eyes. That's a man that you want to do business with. A man with the cone head going up, with the hair freshly curled, put the bangs on the front of it. He looks like a lawyer. That's a man that looks at things from a business perspective. You know what lawyers do? Lawyers are some of the best business people. If you go to a lawyer, you say, hey, listen, I want you to take this case or whatever, so on and so forth. If you're not paying, then they're going to look at it from the perspective of, can I even win this? You know what? I don't want to take that on because it's too much work. This client is too difficult. They're not going to accept the settlement. It's not going to be good for business. Lawyers are some of the best business people.
From Chicago. But were we actually right all along? Are we from Chicago? Do we have something to say about that in northern Indiana?
Is that a question to me? Look,
Yeah,
northern Indiana, Northwest Indiana is a great place. You know, I'm Serbian Orthodox background. A lot of Serbs come from there, worked in the steel mills like my father did here in Chicago. Nothing against Northwest Indiana, but we want to keep our Bears in Chicago. And the Bears are getting good. We got a great young quarterback, great young coach. I think we're a real legitimate Super Bowl contender. And this would be a disgrace if Pritzker allows the Bears to leave and allows the governor of Indiana to intercept our Bears.
Well, okay, so here's what some fans have said. The fans reacting to this, one saying, tell your mayor and governor to lower the historic Chicago Bears taxes and build the stadium. And others saying Bears moving to Indiana would be the best thing to ever happen to the franchise, on and on. You're somebody who understands politics very, very well. Pritzker is somebody who wants to be the next president. He is clearly indicating and signaling all over the place that he is intending to run. What would losing the Bears franchise do to this man's presidential aspirations?
Well, it would be like he's, I mean, it would be a tremendous loss for him, the state of Illinois and the people of Illinois. And politically, I think it would be very devastating to him. And what's amazing to me is that he's actually hasn't been paying attention to this. And he allowed this governor to do what he's done. They haven't done in the legislature in Illinois what they should have done long ago. The Bears have been talking about moving for a long time. There's an opportunity if they leave Chicago to at least stay in Northwest Illinois, in the suburban area, Arlington Heights. The Bears have bought land out there. So clearly, Pritzker has simply been too busy pandering to the socialist Bolshevik part of our party, opposing law enforcement's efforts to crack down on crime. And he hasn't paid attention to an issue like this that actually impacts millions of people who care about the Bears. And again, the Bears fan base are working people, blue-collar people, used to be who the old-time, old-school Democratic Party cared about.
It's over for the Bears. I predicted, if I had to bet money today, I would bet that the Chicago Bears are going to Hammond, Indiana. I would bet on it. I would bet on it 10 times out of 10. I would bet that the Bears is going to Indiana over staying in Chicago. If my three options are they stand in Chicago, they're going to go to Arlington Heights, or they're going to go down to Hammond, Indiana, I would bet that they're going to Hammond, Indiana all day long. Let me find Slimmy Super Chat so I can talk about it. Shout out to Kay Icewood in the building. AR is back. I think I might go to the game. I've been in the house. I've been chilling, working. Me and your car and the after hours crew been feverishly working, staying focused on the prize. I might have to hit a couple games in this next week. The next game that we got is because we stomped on the Bulls last night. Monkey pounded them. Monkey pounded the Knicks. So I might go to see them play against the Spurs and Wemby. De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. I might go and see them on Monday before I do the live stream tomorrow. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep y'all updated. Are you going to see Kamala at the Fillmore? You got jokes. DC Clayton. All right, I see you. Tony Esquire says debates turn into explosive arguments because of the unwillingness to follow intellectual rules of engagement. The chat knows you're right, but chose to defend their feelings over truth and facts. Daniel Always Learning says someone tried to delete Trump at Mar-a-Lago AD. We might have to talk about that tomorrow. Money Talks, Anton, if you don't wish to grow, what's your next move? What do you mean if I don't wish to grow? I don't know what that means. What do you mean if I don't wish to grow, what's my next move? Honestly, you want to know the truth? You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. You know what I care about right now? Good health. That's all I care about. Good health, eating right, working out, and being consistent with growing the stuff that I want to grow into as far as like my platform. I got a couple new shows that I'm working on. I got a brand new channel that I'm about to launch on YouTube. I'm continuing to update and revise and bring the best updates to the Patreon. I'm working on meeting people in person. So really it's just adding value and health. That's the only thing I care about right now is adding value and health. Increasing the cardio, working out, better health. I just met with my concierge doctor a couple weeks ago. I got a nutritionist, and just staying focused, bro. That's all I care about is health right now. So this year is just staying down, staying focused, working on my shows. I got my daughter situated and straight. I still got to get her through some stuff as far as like, I want to continue to improve on her inheritance and stuff like that. But outside of that, it's just health. Everything is health, 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 health. It's health. That's my goal. Is health. Carrie said, am I streaming 7 days a week now? No, Carrie. I missed Monday because I had to take care of some business on Monday. And we had something else happen. Oh, yeah, Rita's birthday. Rita's birthday was Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. Rita's birthday was Thursday, and so I wound up cutting the stream short. So I owed the people, and so that's why I'm streaming. I wouldn't mind streaming on the weekends, too. I like streaming on the weekends, though. DC Clayton says, are you going to see Kamala at the Fillmore on 227? No, I'm not. Super Chats got me broke says the UK is done with migrants. AD, if you can reach to the protest, Europe is waking up after Rubio's speech. Enos Luby says, AD, many thanks for always giving solid information. Bigger thanks to God for not making me a hardened old head at 56 that can still learn. Looking forward to the content video on the Patreon. Oh, this is the one I was looking for right here. Slimmy says, Pistons Cavs on Friday. I heard you talking that trophy nonsense, nigga. We gonna see, in a Drake voice. Oh, we gonna see. Listen. Y'all got two older people, and James Harden. James Harden is only playing for a new contract. I don't know if you know that, Slimmy. I know y'all done went 6-0 since he got there. He's talking that team player nonsense and all of that. James Harden is playing for a new contract, and I'm with it. I think that he's smart to be playing for a new contract because he's looking at it from a business perspective. But y'all got two non-finishers. You got two non-finishers. We all know that regular season Harden is in full effect. Regular season final contract Harden is in full effect. And that, playoff Harden is different. Playoff Donovan is different. What you think that a Tiger changed their stripes? They've been doing this since they came into the league. We gonna see. We gonna see. Let me see what I got on my calendar. Slimmy, you coming to Detroit to come and see your Cleveland Cavs? I had to open up the Pistons app. Pulling up the tickets. Yep, we got San Antonio Spurs on the 23rd and Oklahoma City on the 25th and the Cleveland Cavaliers on the 27th. You are correct, Slimster. You are correct, Slimster. That is absolutely correct. You are correct. And we got Brooklyn on the 7th. So we got a gap after that. So our next three teams all this week is Cleveland, Oklahoma City, and the San Antonio Spurs. That's a good lineup. Man, I might come down to Cleveland and watch a game. Y'all play on the following Tuesday. I might come down to Cleveland. I might not go to the one here, and I might just go on a hostile territory, throw on my Pistons. Let me see. Let me look at what's going on. Let me see what's happening out here. Where you at? Cleveland? Cavs.com. Is it Cavs.com? Oh, y'all fighting for y'all life with Oklahoma City. Y'all already fighting for y'all life. Why is this taking so long to load? Maybe we need to refresh. Let's refresh and see what we got here. Let's go one seat. I guess I got to go more than one ticket, huh? If I go 2 tickets and they start making them more available. Nah, if y'all ain't got no floor seats, I ain't going. I can go. I don't have to have a floor seat. I don't have to have a floor seat. I can go. I can go. Let me see. You know, y'all arena ain't that new, though. So it's a little different. Let me go on Ticketmaster. This don't make no sense. Ticketmaster. It's a little dusty in there. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland Cavaliers. It's a little dusty in there. Pistons. Nope. Let's see. Pistons, Cleveland. Pistons at the Cavs. Let's see that one. Why is it so hard to navigate through? Why do y'all use StubHub for y'all tickets, bro? Y'all use StubHub? That's so bad. Oh, y'all got some floor seats. You just got to go to StubHub. I don't know why y'all use StubHub, bro. It's so bad. Let's see over here. Row 3. That's row 2, row 1. Y'all selling y'all tickets for $2,300 a piece? F22, row 1. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, Slimster. Big One M Dub says, man shot after entering Trump's property armed. All right, I'm going to go and check that out. AR's back says, Indiana said, yo, chose me, dog. Facts. Tony Esquire says, shout out to Slimmy, but the Cavs are currently getting ran off the court by OKC without Alexander, without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, Slim, if I do come to Cleveland, we could hit the game, bro. That might be a play. It might be a play. Me and Slimmy hit the game in Cleveland. What day is that? That is a Tuesday. That's a Tuesday. We got to stream that night. That might be a play, bro. We'll figure it out, Slim. We're gonna figure it out. Caramel Wonder says, not the Banyangs. What up, Caramel Wonder? Ty says, what up, AD? My hometown, Nashville, needs to come to the front of the congregation property taxes. You gonna be at work, Slimmy? See what I'm saying, y'all? See what I'm saying? Slimmy ain't talking about nothing, bro. Slimmy gonna be at work. He gonna be chilling. I'm like, yo, let's hit the game, Slimmy, in Cleveland, in your city. It ain't nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump away. We could just hit the game. Slimmy like, nah. You see, but no, that's some real shit though. You know why? Because guys be like, listen, man, I love the team, but I got to get my bag. Hey, guys be like, I love the team, but I gotta get my bag, bro. I ain't tripping. That's what guys do. That's what guys do. They go and get their money. They got to get their money. I don't blame him at all. I feel you. I'm gonna see what's happening in Nashville. I might bring them to the front of the congregation tomorrow. Seeker of Truth says Mayor Johnson added another notch to him not getting reelected. He will be forever known as the mayor that lost the Chicago Bears. Pistons going down, big bro. My Cavs is coming. All right, Lovell. We'll see. We're going to see. Time tells all. Ja Kim, thank you for watching me on a Sunday too, y'all. Ja Kim says, yo, Anton, what kind of classes do you wear? The same kind of everything. I'm Versace. I love Versace. That's what I do. I wear Versace glasses. That's all I wear on my frames. All or nothing seems kind of funny sometimes. Shout out to Thornton. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for continuing to tap in. What up, Lex? What up, Lex? Let me see what's happening. Let's see. The Chicago Bears is leaving. What else we talking about today? What up, TS Car Wash and Detail Service? What up, BMG? I appreciate you, BMG. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Indiana. Oh, let me share this with y'all real quick. Wait. We got to talk about the Trump situation, right? Let me see this. Secret Service addresses fatal shooting at Trump's Mar-a-Lago perimeter.
Continuing to follow some breaking news that we first brought you earlier this morning. And this is a social media post by the Associated Press about that breaking news, stating that an armed man was shot and killed after entering the secure perimeter at Mar-a-Lago. That is according to Secret Service. And this is a live look here of Mar-a-Lago right here as we continue to follow the very latest. According to the Associated Press, that suspect has now been identified as a 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. And we continue to share the reaction as it continues to come in. This is from Attorney General Pam Bondi saying that I have been speaking with President Trump and coordinating with our federal partners throughout the morning regarding the intrusion and shooting at Mar-a-Lago. Grateful that President Trump and our law enforcement agents are safe. Now, President Trump was not at Mar-a-Lago at the time of this incident. He is in Washington, D.C. as he continues to meet with individuals. But we are also continuing to follow the very latest developments after an armed man drove into the secure perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, which is President Trump's resort in Palm Beach, Florida, as another vehicle was exiting. Before that man, though, was shot and killed early this morning. That's according to the Secret Service. Now, that man who has been identified is from North Carolina. And according to the Secret Service, he was carrying a gas can and a shotgun. He had been reported missing by his family a few days ago, and investigators believed he headed south and picked up the shotgun along the way. Secret Service said a box for the weapon was discovered in the man's vehicle after the incident, which took place at around 1:30 a.m. this morning. The man identified as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. That person spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to publicly discuss the details of that investigation. President Trump has faced threats to his life before, including 2 assassination attempts during the 2024 campaign. And although President Trump often spends his weekends at the resort, he and First Lady Melania Trump were at the White House when this breach occurred. After entering the north gate of the property, the man was confronted by 2 Secret Service agents as well as a Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputy. And the FBI are asking residents who live near Mar-a-Lago to check any security cameras they may have for footage that could help investigators.
Let me show you something that makes
I'm sorry, y'all. Thank y'all for letting me know that I'm muted. This is 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. And he is the person that decided that he wanted to take his own life by driving into Mar-a-Lago and getting killed on the spot. Shout out to Austin Tucker Martin. I would say rest in peace, but I am not going to say rest in peace. Says he was shot dead after trying to enter Mar-a-Lago with a shotgun and a gas can, and has been identified as a North Carolina artist. He was an artist. That tells me everything that I need to know right there. You know what artist says to me? Unemployed, no job, grifter, video games, jerking off on his couch, and mama's boy, incel, liberal. He does look every bit of older than 21. I'm an artist. That means that I don't know what I want to do with my life, and I don't have any ambition. And I've been sitting at home being indoctrinated for a long time. And so I am going to go ahead and crash out because I got a death wish. And I was raised by my mom. My father is probably not in my life. And I'm insane. So if I want to take myself out, that's the thing that I be trying to figure out when it comes to these all of these trans shooters. You know, whenever you see somebody that somebody that shoots up these schools and all of this other stuff, when I see them, I'll be thinking to myself, how come they didn't go and start wielding guns? Not saying that you should, right? I'm not advocating for that because, I don't think that anybody should be trying to take their life. But how come they're not doing all of this at the police station? How come they're not doing this at the FBI headquarters? How come they not running into the Secret Service with a death wish and seeing what they can do? Why they running to schools? Officials still investigating whether he bought the gun en route to Florida. Trump wasn't at Mar-a-Lago. A box for the shotgun was discovered in Martin's vehicle following the shooting, which took place at 1:30 a.m. According to his social media, his family was frantically looking for him after he disappeared on Sunday night. This is what he did on his social media. He said, I redrew the scene I photographed at the course using the fine tip pen instead of the fountain pen. I hope y'all like it. Gay! Man with no ambition. All right. Social media shows he was obsessed with drawing scenes from golf courses in the Sand Hills region, which includes the famed Pinehurst. His Instagram includes a series of bleak watercolors and black and white sketches, most appearing to show Quail Ridge Golf Course, roughly 15 to 20 miles north of his home in Cameron. The posts are accompanied by sparse electronic music and have almost zero social media interaction. Yep. Feeling alone. None of the women was paying attention to him. He putting all of those pictures and stuff up for other people to see or hoping to get somebody to say they like it. and he has zero, and I mean zero social media interaction. Goes on to say, investigators haven't said whether Martin was previously known to law enforcement. Authorities have urged nearby residents in South Florida to check their security cameras for any footage that may show him. Oh, yeah. He would have been all right. He would have been all right. You know what I'm saying? Stay focused. Look like he was the tallest one in his family. You know what I'm saying? Get your money up, King. Focus on you. You know, focus on getting your cheese up, finding your purpose. Next thing you know, you him. You know, you stop posting watercolor posters and saying that you are artists on social media, and you put away the video games and you start leveling up. Next thing you know, you got you a girl. And when you start getting girls, let me tell you something. For all of you liberal men that seems to be super gay, let me tell you what you do. All you got to do is level up, start getting you some money. When you start getting money, you're going to start being busy focusing on your purpose. And then the only thing that can stop you is women. And then you're going to get enough headache with dealing with women that's in your life that's going to keep you busy for the rest of your life. They're going to keep you busy on child support. They're going to keep you busy crying and complaining on the phone. They're going to keep you busy going on social media, clout chasing. They're going to keep you busy, you know, boxolitis, all of that. That's the key to life. That's why God put women in our lives, I believe, to help us stay busy so that we can live a full life trying to figure out what the meaning of life is, instead of being blissful and being okay with everything and not really caring about what's going on. It exercises our brain, because women in our lives force us, the women in our lives or women in our lives force us to use every single neuron receptacle, because we trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And by the time that you get old enough to realize they just crazy, it ain't you, it's them, then you just want peace. And then you won't have the energy to be driving up to Mar-a-Lago, trying to have a death wish and using watercolors and playing video games all day. That's the beauty of life. God won't give us more than we can handle, but he will certainly keep us busy. He won't give you more than you can handle, but he'll keep you from going to Mar-a-Lago and killing yourself. I ain't never seen a dude that had boxolitis get caught up at Mar-a-Lago. Maybe you won't have peace, but you definitely won't kill yourself. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, his brain wasn't fully developed. He hadn't got to the point to where he was getting stressed out by some funky hoe, you know, that's clout chasing him online, is doing all of that type of shit. Once you start getting busy with women, you ain't got to worry about that shit no more. You got your hands full. Oh, fuck. What this bitch do again? Man, then you're going to be on the phone with your homies. Hey, dog. This bitch is crazy, nigga. Why would she do, fam? Nigga. This bitch is, dog, nigga, she was trying to do this, bro. I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to, that's what I get, man. I ain't never trusting these hoes again. Once you start having them type of phone calls, nigga, that's it. Your life is full. Man, I can't stand these hoes, bro. Man, why do we even deal with them? I don't know, bro. Man, I had a chick that was doing that same thing, nigga. You think that? Man, I don't know, man. I don't know why would they do that shit? What the fuck is wrong with them, man? And there I go, trying to, you know what I'm saying? Trying to protect them from themselves. And they go out here and doing this crazy shit. What the fuck is wrong with them? Crazy, man, dog, nigga, let me tell you, bro. Man, I'm chilling at the crib, right? I wake up and I'm getting all of these crazy text messages. Word? Dog, don't tell me that, dog. Don't tell me. Yeah, nigga, how you know? Man, I seen it too, dog. Once you start having those type of conversations with your homies, nigga, you ain't think about no Mar-a-Lago. You ain't think about that. You chilling, you slow motion, you trying to figure. Every nigga in the chat know. Every dude in the chat knows. They know that phone call. Your homie hit you up. Hey, you good? There you go. Man, fuck these hoes, bro. Man, I'm done, nigga. I ain't messing with no more. Nigga, no more women can come around me, nigga. 2 days later, yo, dog, what you got up? Nigga. 2 days before, I'm done with these hoes, bro. I'm focusing on me. Nigga, I'm back in the gym. You know what I'm saying? I'm focused on my money. I'm focused on just I'm staying out the mix, and I'm dealing with this, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm back on my grind, and I should have been focused on me the whole. I should have been focused on me the whole time. Nigga, I'm eating right. I ain't got time for these hoes. It's all of them. Everybody. Bro, listen. I don't care if you are in California, if you in New York, you in the Midwest, in Detroit somewhere, nigga, or you down south in Texas. Nigga, we all have the same stories. Our lingo might be different, the way we dress might be different, our age might be different, nigga, but it's all the same stories. All the way across the board, bro. Hey, let me know if you need anything, bro. I got your back. And that is the shit that's gonna keep you from shooting up Mar-a-Lago. Bet you wasn't expecting that take. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Destiny, all of y'all crazy. All of y'all are crazy. All of y'all are crazy. We need to file a class action lawsuit against women. I asked my homie when the last time he talked to her, he talking about today. Just don't shoot up Mar-a-Lago and we'll be good. You know what I'm saying? TS Car Wash and Detail Service. What up, Lex? Says you make Sundays feel like a great start of the week. King, big money at YouTube. What up, Lex? Lex, please. Lex, please. Turn off the lights. I just wanted to wish the most beautiful woman in Chicago a happy birthday today. My best friend of 15 years. I love you, Ivory. What up, Ivory? Ivory, Lex wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Best friend of 15 years. We love you, Ivory, because Lex love you. You know what I'm saying? TS Car Wash and Detail Services. Talk about the Rondell Moore tragic situation. What is Rondell Moore? I'm gonna leave that up. Too much anime. Yep. Sitting there watching anime in peace. Check out T.I. Speak on 50 Cent on Gilly. Says TS Car Wash and Detail Service. Thoughts on the Ryan fight? I thought it was entertaining. I watched a little bit of it. Knocked him down early. There wasn't really any competition that whole fight. Surprised you're not going to the Shields fight. Y'all didn't just hear what I was just saying last segment? Nigga, I'm focusing on me, King. Nigga, I'm focusing on me, King. Can't believe these hoes, nigga. No, I'm just messing with you, but it's funny as hell. Oh shit. Focus on me, King. Shannon said the furthest he went for some box was GA to Rome. Jesus. That man got boxolitis for real. Jason M says, for those that have been to Mar-a-Lago, it's a fortress. It is. You can't get, driving the water, anything. The police station across the street, you can walk around the perimeter, but not stopping. Yeah, they don't mess around, bro. Moet, we hilarious. Hilarious. You saw Eminem trademark legal battle? I haven't. I'm not familiar. You be hip to everything, TS. Yep, we all might be entitled to compensation. Missed a lot. Ladies is right up there with mesothelioma. Oh, man. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Good gosh. Good gosh. If y'all only knew. if they only knew. Man, all I got is myself. Did you be on the phone? With another girl. What you feeling? I'm all I got. I'm the only thing I can trust nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody love me. You know what I'm saying? They just when everything go left, they go right. I mean, it's a few people, but I don't even know no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm all I got. You know what I'm saying? What? Yeah. Hey, I came in this world alone. So, you know what I'm saying? I should have stayed on top of that. I'm just focusing on me. It's a season of me. It's a season of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, I forgot to put me first. You know what I'm saying? I got lost in all of this. I was so focused on everybody else. I forgot to put me first. Oh man, y'all are hilarious. Shout out to the chat, man. Y'all are hilarious, bro. Chat is hilarious. This is why I love talking to y'all, because this junk is so funny, man. It is so funny. Y'all ready to move on with the show? Y'all ready to get on with the next thing? I'm going to read Super Chat shortly. This is why we can joke on the weekend. I just need my space right now. Chat lives do matter, Azriel. What are we talking about next? Let's see. We just covered Trump. I'm going to get to van life shortly. I did the Bears. I did Vince McMahon. What else we got on? We got to get to some of the political shit too. Let's see. Homeland Security suspends TSA pre-check. That's because of the shutdown. Oh, man, this show is so funny.
Scene in Hendricks County, Indiana on Wednesday when multiple vehicles smashed in after a semi-truck driver and an Indian illegal immigrant allegedly ran a red light, killing another driver. That Indian illegal immigrant, his name is S6.E36. He was caught and released at the border in 2018, was during the first Trump administration. He was a child at the time, a minor. The crash Wednesday is the second one in the state this month involving an illegal immigrant. So for more, let's bring in Indiana Governor Mike Braun, my governor.
Hey, Mike, the Indiana governor is everywhere, right? This nigga talking about the Bears. He talking about illegal migrants crashing in trucks. Everything.
State of Indiana, the Hoosier state. Welcome to the program. So I'll just ask you about this because the Department of Homeland Security was asked why this guy was led into the country, and they blamed the 1993 Flores consent decree, which they say orders the DHS to release minors into the country if they cross the border illegally. But should he have been driving? Should he have gotten his CDL? And are you changing anything from here on out?
So most of that issue has been with CDLs that they've been handing out like through a slot machine out in California. But it shows how that can happen anywhere. And I don't know where he got a CDL, but I've authorized the state police to be ramping up just routine traffic stops. And we're finding enough of it to where when we do vet the drivers, they are not documented properly. And the other complicating thing is documents. They're so good at faking them, you don't even know. But this is cropping up enough. Most of it has come from states that weren't really interested about the rigor of what you do to get a CDL. It shows it can happen anywhere. And now we've had 2 fatal incidents in our own state.
A lot of times you don't even find out about this stuff, where you don't even know what you don't know until after something tragic happens, like you have a fatal accident or something like this. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of illegal migrants was initially going over to California, is because California is the place. And don't think for one second that they don't communicate with each other. They absolutely communicate with each other. One of the things that they do, and I showed this during the pandemic, right? What happened during the pandemic was if you went on TikTok, if you went to a certain part of TikTok, now I know some of y'all TikToks, y'all algorithm is messed up, right? Your algorithm is so focused on degeneracy that you wouldn't even remotely see it. And the only reason that I see it is because y'all was sending it to me. And so I'm appreciative of y'all sending me these stories. But if you had went on TikTok at certain points, they were giving clear instructions on how to get over here and how to do things. This is where the entry points is on the border. The Border Patrol ain't going to stop you over in this state over here. Go through this place in Mexico. Get on the bus. Go over to California. Get your CDLs. First go to Chicago. Go to New York. New York got better benefits than Chicago right now. You can get a free crib. You can get a free this. They're going to make sure that your kid do this. They're going to make sure that your kid got a home. They're going to give you a food card. If you get kicked out of Chicago, go over to New York. If you get kicked out of New York, go to Denver. And then once you expire all of your benefits, then you can go over to California. You go to California. They're going to give you a place to stay, and they're going to allow for you to get a CDL. They got a whole network. They had a whole network of how to move through the United States of America to bypass all of the problems and all of the trouble, and then to get their money, King. They did the same thing with Somalis. What you think that all Somalis, the majority of them in the United States of America, just so happen to stumble in Minneapolis? No, they built the whole network and they kept bringing their friends over there. Hey, man, it's cool over here. Hey, man, this is what's popping over here. Most of the Americans, they're not tripping over, they're not tripping over in Minneapolis because it's too cold. Black people is a tropical people, so they prefer not to be in the cold voluntarily. Hey, they all went down to Atlanta. They all went down to Houston. They left Minneapolis wide open for us. So we're going to come over here. It's a whole bunch of white liberal apologists and middle-aged Democrat women over here, and they're going to fight for us. Now they're demanding reparations. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in the next segment of the show. Now they're demanding reparations, but it's a whole network. And the internet, the same way that it's easier for me and you to communicate on the internet is the same way that it's easier for them to communicate on the internet. So they didn't just stumble into California to get their CDLs, which doesn't require you to read, write, apparently even know the signs. You can go over to California, get your CDLs, and then you could be hitting the road all day long. I'm going to talk about the cartels tomorrow in Mexico. Hit the road all day long. And they got it popping out there. And that is the way. So then now what you do is you put the police on their heels, because part of policing is supposed to be prevention, right? If you prevent them from becoming supervillains, if you prevent 10 million plus 20 million people from coming over here during the Kamala Harris administration, we don't have to spend the next 10 years and $20 billion trying to get them out of here. So if you prevent people from coming over here, you cut them off, then you can start to vet them effectively. Then you can go through the process. Then we can start to have conversations about judges and immigration laws and revamping that. But you can't, as long as people is just running roughshod and just jumping over the border, going to get their CDLs in California and then taking over the roads. You see what I'm saying? So now places like Indiana, and they all over the United States now, because they got their CDL in California and it's applicable everywhere. Then you have to spend a gajillion dollars, and they say, well, we don't have it in the budget. The budget was supposed to be for prevention from them getting over here in the first place. That's why you got to invest in Border Patrol, in security. That's why you have to invest in preventing them from getting here, because it's going to cost you $1 trillion, not only in crime, not only in police presence, not only in trying to deport them, not only in ICE, not only in legislation, not only in infrastructure, not only in them being in your schools. It's going to cost you way more to get them out of here than if you was to prevent them from getting in the first place. It's like anything that you don't want, right? If you got to call somebody, pest control, to solve for a problem inside of your household, it's probably better to keep your house clean and prevent pests from getting in the first place. It's going to cost you way more headache, problems, trouble to get it out than it would have to prevent it from coming in. That's the whole idea of investing in police. War costs you more money than to have prevention of war, right? The development of nuclear weapons, to have a presence in this country, or to have an embassy over there, or to negotiate over there, and to make sure that they happy, or we're going to stop them from doing this. It's going to cost us less to interact with other countries and prevent war from happening, unless you are a warmonger looking to profit from it, than it would to actually send troops over there to get them killed. It's the whole idea about prevention.
You are in town for the big governor's meeting. There's a big gala tonight, but the breakfast kind of stole the show yesterday, because that is when the president found out about that big Supreme Court ruling on his tariffs. And I've been hearing from all sorts of people, different governors, about the reaction. So I'll have you take us inside the room. What happened?
Well, last year at that breakfast, it was a little back and forth between the president and the governor from Maine, if you remember it. Priceless. Here, we were into the Q&A part of it. It had already been a fairly long breakfast, and it was I think in the middle of the first question, a note was taken to the podium. He read it, and you could tell he was not happy. He answered one more question and then said, I think the Q&A is over.
Yeah, he was done.
He was done.
It kind of soured the meeting.
Yeah, and I think that the whole thing that Trump's been trying to do is remedy something since the Marshall Plan, when we rebuilt the global economy. We've not had reciprocity on tariffs. And now the Supreme Court, I think, has made the wrong decision, because there'll be other ways to get to the fact we just want an even playing field, free and fair trade. So you could see already he was not going to let that stop what he's been doing.
Well, he just announced 15% global tariffs. You know, you've been a business owner. That was the one unique thing about you on Capitol Hill.
There aren't many of us that went there and with that background.
So how do these tariffs impact small businesses in Indiana?
So if you're caught in one of the industries that you're dealing with that went global, took the supply chain there, it's hard to get around it. Many companies knew that if you're going there, especially if you want to tap their own consumer market someday, you've really gotten invested in the Chinese economy. Most don't, but when it has occurred, it takes a while to go somewhere else to get that product made. So, but getting tariffs down to where they're the same for the reciprocity, Trump's right on the money, and we need to keep doing it free and fair. If you impede our goods coming into your country, expect it from us in response.
I cannot let you go without talking about that Indiana might be getting the Chicago Bears football team, which is, I mean,
yeah, we
absolutely.
already covered that. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's see what y'all talking about. Talk about the Rondell Moore. Oh, I don't know about that. I said I was going to hold on to that. Anton is there with that rich man laugh again, says boss entrepreneur. JP says thoughts on Florida voting to approve no property taxes. I don't know about that. Let me see. Florida. Property taxes. Florida House approves plan to I'll look into it in a second. Let me look into it. I'll look into it in a second. Five Brown says facts, AD. Illegals lowered the truckload rates extremely. They work for pennies and they work in teams, so they never stop driving. It's ruined trucking. Yep. Facts. Facts. Let me look at this Florida property tax situation.
Well, cutting property taxes in Florida took a big step today at the state capitol.
A bill to eliminate homestead taxes in 2027 passed in the House.
That's right. Our Matt Cessny has been digging into reform proposals, and he's asking questions about today's vote. Matt?
Todd Honey, quite a day. This bill went through a last-minute change from phasing out those homesteaded property taxes over 10 years to just ending them in 2027. Now, it does exclude wiping out taxes for public safety and education. I got both sides on this today, starting with Treasure Coast Representative Toby Overdorf, who has been a big part of this push.
What this bill does is return our overall collection for ad valorem back to 2020 levels. And in fact, it's going to be higher than 2020 levels. On most cases, it's roughly 10 to as much as 30% higher than the revenue that they had in 2020.
What we see is that a lot of the costs do get shifted onto renters. So you have renters, you have businesses, and ultimately, let's say we cut services, then it's going to be everyone who uses those services. Individual, trash pickup, road maintenance, these library hours, park hours. I mean, the costs are going to be spread across all different types of populations.
Yeah, Esteban Santos of the Florida Policy Institute tells me this could create an $18 billion hole in city and county budgets. This, of course, still needs approval by the Senate and voters in the fall.
Okay, Matt, the thing that's running through my mind is what are the chances of this actually happening?
Yeah, Todd, still not really known. Senate leadership has not been very vocal on this, where they stand, and the session ends in 3 weeks. If nothing happens, we could be looking at a special session later.
So I'm pulling it up right now, right? And I'm deep diving into it. And it says that the Florida House passed a proposal, HJR 203, in February 2026, which was just passed this past week, to amend the state constitution to eliminate most property taxes on homesteaded properties, basically the properties that you live in, your primary residence, right? So I'm not sure if that includes rental properties. In some cities and in some counties, rental properties are taxed differently. So, for example, here in this particular house, there's a different property tax rate for if it is my primary residence or if it is the residence that I would be using to rent it out. And it's a vast difference. If I'm not mistaken, it could be like 50% higher in property taxes. So basically your primary residence, what they're proposing, the house in Florida, your primary residence would eliminate property taxes for anything outside of schools. So whatever it is that they mismanaging as far as money for, anything outside of what you would be funding public schools for is what they would be eliminating property taxes for, which I think is exactly what it should have been in the first place. The whole idea of taxes and property taxes and all of this stuff was supposed to be for nothing more than police, infrastructure, and schools. That's it. Public safety, to make sure that we got roads to drive on, which we pay federal taxes and stuff like that for, state, for all of that type of stuff, depending on what state you're in, and your schools. Everything else was supposed to not, that ain't have nothing to do with everything else. All of this, we want to, fund baby mamas and all of these different community programs. That's not what the city and the counties are for. It is not supposed to be for homeless shelters and all of this other type of stuff. It's supposed to be for the basics: infrastructure, water, roads, lights. And then the private properties, as far as like the businesses and the jobs and all of that, that is supposed to be money that goes into the coffer that allows for the cities or the state itself to be able to thrive. But all of this, if you buy your property in it, let me tell you something, bro. If Florida, which I think that this is a business move, if Florida eliminates property taxes, I will buy a property in Florida tomorrow. If you said Walk on Wood says waste management, here's the thing, Walk on Wood, that's not true. You know why? Because here, for example, in this neighborhood, we pay for our own waste management. We take care of that ourselves. The community takes care of their own waste management as far as hiring our own company. Waste management, hey, listen, y'all want, trash services. This is how much it's going to cost, whatever, so on and so forth. They, either we can get our own trash cans or we can get it from them, and then we go from there. Let me tell you, how many people is going to buy? If Florida is able to get this through, that means that they are going to be at the top of the totem pole of people that are looking to move into Florida. Because the number one thing that people hate, especially when you get money, especially when you're in a position to where you want to retire or you don't want to spend a lot of money on, all of that, I would absolutely buy a property in Florida. Real Life PJ says, AD, property taxes is what prevented you from investing in Florida. Is this what will make Florida a good place? No. Remember, this is homesteaded properties. Let me show y'all. This is your specific primary residence. I would make my primary residence, I would seriously consider making my primary residence Florida. That has nothing to do with investment properties. Investment properties, I'm sure there is much more dialogue in this whole legislation that would then play a bigger role. So I'm not saying that I would invest. I don't look at the home that you live in as an investment, right? I'm talking about, would I make that my primary residence? Because why would I ever want to continue to pay property taxes after the property is paid off? Think about it. No state taxes and no property taxes. Think I'm there tomorrow. I'm there tomorrow. And let me say this again. This is why it is important for you to pay attention to politics, right? When you pay attention to politics, you then get more information on how you're supposed to leverage what's happening in the House, how they're lobbying, exactly what's being passed, what you need to do as far as putting pressure on the Senate. Now, this is what Floridians need to be doing. Since the House passed this proposal, HJR 203, the constituents, the people should be going over to the Senate, and they should be putting pressure on them and saying, hey, listen, why are y'all not taking this up as soon as possible? Y'all need to be putting pressure on your Senate in Florida to get this through so that y'all can eliminate property taxes, and then y'all be scot-free. But guess what people are not going to do? They only concerned with whether or not it's going to happen in the national election. They concerned with ICE. They protesting about fucking Somalis over in Minneapolis. When they should be, what y'all should be doing is rallying to put pressure on the Senate to pass this through so that they can send it up to the governor's office and he can sign off on it, because y'all already got a governor that's advocating for this. But because y'all not engaged, because y'all not familiar, but because y'all not, and you know what I'm saying, steadfast with what's happening as far as all of the different legislative branches that's inside of your state. And I say it all the time, local elections matter more than national elections as far as how you're affected in your daily, everyday life. But because you're not going to put pressure on your politicians, it'll probably die in the Senate. And if it dies, it's your fault, because they are supposed to act on the best interests of the people. It's all based off of the people. When you see what's happening in Chicago and them losing the Bears, it's based off of the people. When you see what's happening in New York and they're raising property taxes, it's based off of the people. If this don't go through in Florida, it's based off of the people. And y'all need to pass it so that this can then be the blueprint, because other states are going to want to compete against Florida because they don't want to lose residences. Mia, listen. Florida's crowding. There's plenty of room in Florida. There's plenty of room in Florida. It's not about the crowding, right? There's plenty of real estate that is available, but the reason that the real estate is so available is because of other reasons. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now at all. Nothing to do with what we're talking about right now at all. Listen, if you are a person that cares about how much it's going to cost you to live, if you want to bring the cost of living down, then this is absolute. We shouldn't have property taxes anywhere outside of making sure that our schools are funded. So let's evaluate it from looking at it from that lens, right? Even if, let's say hypothetically, that you like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I don't really care for people moving here, so on and so forth, right? Cool. So you're willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars a year in property taxes because you want people to stay where they're at? I'm not. I'm in no way, shape, or form am I, because if you think that property taxes is going to prevent people from moving to Florida, then you're crazy. The property taxes is not the thing that's going to prevent people from moving there. If people want to move to Florida, they're going to move to Florida regardless of how you feel, because they still don't have no state taxes. If you think that property taxes is the thing that's going to prevent people from moving to Florida, you crazy. I'm not willing to give away tens of thousands of dollars to prevent other people from moving to my state, because Florida is a big place. It's not just Tampa. It's not just Orlando. It's not just Jacksonville. It's not just Miami. It's not just the Keys. It's all of the places in between. Humble says, but Florida senators have not shared how roads will be fixed or police officers will be paid. I have a home in Florida and we need a plan of action. There's enough money that flows through the state. People are being overtaxed. There's more than enough money that flows in through the state, bro. Seriously. They are mismanaging funds in every single state and every single city across the United States of America. There's more than enough money that is being flowing through. Every single state and city is mismanaging funds, bro. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So if I'm in Florida, if I'm a Floridian, I'm putting pressure on my Senate immediately to get this passed. Putting pressure on my state immediately to get this passed. I would buy a home. I would make Florida my personal property immediately. Where in Florida? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. I would like to be around somewhere where they got a basketball arena. Tampa, maybe. Probably not Miami. I love Miami. Miami is dope. You just need to stay away from Brickell and South Beach. It's Coral Gables is gorgeous. It's plenty of places in Miami that's not at the center of all what's happening, all of that stuff, right? So Palm Beach, Tampa, all of that type of stuff is dope. You can head over to the Orlando Magic, even though it's a trash ass team. You can go and catch. Fuck, I don't need no basketball team. I could fly back to Detroit and go to any game I want to. It's cheap. It's cheap to go back and forth to the city. Anyways, so shout out to whoever pointed that out to talk about the Florida property taxes. I'll do some more deep diving in the morning, and then maybe I'll have more information to dive into on the Millionaire Morning Show on Monday. So, real talk. All right. I want to get into one more thing before I read these super chats. Thoughts on Florida voting to approve no problem. Shout out to JP. Great super chat, bro. Shout out to the chat. That's why the chat is a part of the show. That's why the chat is a part of the show. I seen this pop up on my timeline earlier today, and I wanted to have a conversation about this. I want to know y'all thoughts on this.
This is our garden. This is my radish that I planted.
This is Selena Alvarez's garden. It's a shared space at the back of the RV park where she lives with her boyfriend. They used to park their RV on the street until they moved here.
We have 86 RVs here. I have a lot of people calling me, I need you to put more spaces at your RV park. It's not enough.
Victoria Garibaldi runs the show here at the Berryessa Safe Parking Site in San Jose.
I do this because I myself was homeless as well. So I know what it's like to not have a shower, to not have food.
In Santa Clara County, home to Apple, Google, and 8 of America's 50 most expensive zip codes, the number of people living in RVs full-time in the region has surged. County data shows the portion of homeless individuals sleeping in vehicles has more than doubled since the pandemic, from 18% in 2019 to 37% in 2025. These aren't adventure-seeking van lifers who opt to live in vans for freedom. It's a way to find shelter in a state that's short up to 3.5 million housing units.
When you stand back and look at California, you see two crises at once. You see not enough housing, and that has inflated home prices and created the 5th highest rate of homelessness in the United States. And then layered on top of that, we have one of the lowest inventories of shelter.
You know what I was thinking about? Whenever I see these type of articles and I see this type of stuff pop up, the first thing I think about is, and maybe this is just the way that my mind works, the first thing I think about is, man, that state has been ran into the ground by politicians more than anything ever before. This is why you don't vote blue. That's the first thing I thought about. The second thing that I think about is, man, I need to go and buy me some space to where I can rezone it as an RV park. And then I can charge people to basically park there. And I don't have any maintenance there whatsoever. The only thing that you have maintenance for, people going to have to pay for their own hookups. Probably got to pay maintenance for trash. Make sure that you're collecting the fees in order to get people out of there that's not supposed to be there. Like, my biggest thing is maybe I should invest in A, truck stops, and B, places for people to park their RVs. That's the two things that I think of when I think of California. I think of homelessness and how the California legislators have ran the state into the ground. And then the second thing I think about is, man, I should go over there and pave some parking lots and let people sleep in the parking lots. Look at that shit. Are y'all looking at this? There are tents across the sidewalks. Y'all gotta see it for yourself. Man, listen. You gotta see it for yourself. If y'all have not been to Los Angeles and Oakland and different parts of California to see it for yourself, it is the craziest thing that you will ever see in your entire life, bro. It's the craziest thing that you will ever see in your entire life because it's like a real life GTA server. It's real life GTA out there. People, I'll be seeing people sitting in their trunks of cars that look like they haven't moved in 2 decades. Tent cities all across the sidewalks, open air drug markets. And if you out there late at night, past like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, forget it, nigga. It's over. It's gonna look just like a Mad Max movie, bro. It's the craziest thing that you will ever see in your life, bro. You got to go out and see a lot of these places. It's a lot of good places across the United States of America, and it's a lot of bad places across the United States of America. But it's crazy, bro. Now, if you want to capitalize off of it, then there's also business opportunities. Obviously, that's one of the reasons that we're talking about it. But I've been talking about van life for a long time, and van life has been over glorified, but really is just a way for people to prevent themselves from having to sleep on the street every day. That's all van life is. Van life is preventing yourself from having to be on the streets. People sleeping in their cars and their vans, taking showers at the gym. That's why gym memberships is up in LA. It ain't that everybody trying to stay fit. It's that people are trying not to be on the streets. It's the only way for them to be able to, thank you, Marlo Reed. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. It's the only way for people to take a shower. Everybody is joining Planet Fitness. They find the cheapest gym that they can find. Usually it's Planet Fitness. Niggas walking there with their book bags and they shower shoes. They taking showers and they parking and trying to park in Home Depot and Walmart parking lots overnight. Planet Fitness has now become the homeless encampment for showers. Planet Fitness have become a homeless shower encampment. It's bad, bro. It's bad. It is so bad out there. And one of the reasons why California has so much homeless is A, because they liberal, B, because they okay with people doing whatever they want to do, so it's lawless, and C, the weather. And so if you don't want to have to deal with the winter weather, because over 14 people died on Mom Donnie's watch, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Over 14 people died on Mom Donnie's watch. Mom Donnie says, I'm not clearing homeless encampments. 14 people died on the street. And he said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get these people off the streets. They on his ass. They on his ass. I'm going to put a whole show dedicated to him tomorrow. They on Mom Donnie's ass out there. 2 months in to his administration, they kicking his butt.
Available for people who become homeless. So in other words, in California, you're more likely to become homeless than almost any other state. And when you do, you're more likely to become
See the Hollywood
homeless on
sign?
the street.
See the Hollywood sign right there? That's exactly what it looked like. All facade, homelessness. Look at the streets. Look at the streets, y'all. This is literally exactly what it looks like. You got the Hollywood sign right there. You got homelessness right here. And at night, it turned into chaos. It is absolute chaos. And the police ain't going to do nothing. The mayor ain't going to do nothing. The governor ain't going to do nothing. It's all right there on Hollywood Boulevard. Bro, I'm telling you, the first time that I flew out there to Hollywood, the first time I seen Hollywood, this is Hollywood Boulevard. First time that I flew out to Hollywood Boulevard, I could not believe my eyes. That was when I had flew out there to do the Dr. Phil show before he moved over to Dallas. I said, no way. This is the Hollywood that I always was looking at on TV. No way. And imagine, he actually wants to become president of the United States of America.
almost any other state. And when you do, you're more likely to become homeless on the streets rather than in the shelter than almost any other state.
This RV lot opened just a year ago and now is among the largest in the state of California with a full wait list. It represents one city's answers to a growing crisis of RV homelessness, in which individuals without homes live long-term in RVs. Others park their RVs on city streets, and some don't even own the RVs they're living in. Instead, they rent them from an underground market of van lords. For renters,
Van lords. I've never heard of that in my entire life. Not landlords, van lords. That RV right there got a hole in it. Van lords?
it's one of the few options between communal shelters and
$2,500 in rent for a rusted RV? What the fuck is going on in the United States? What is happening in California?
The streets. But advocates and lawmakers say the arrangement is often exploitative, with no tenant protections and landlords able to demand payment or threaten eviction at will.
The person confides in you that this person is extorting them for a large sum of money, $500-600 a month, to use their RV, and they'll come to me and tell me, hey, this person hasn't paid me rent. I want to come in and kick them out. I don't let them on the site or on the property. If they are in a vanlording situation, I make them a priority. I tell the case manager, look, this person is about to lose their RV, and that's all they have.
CNBC spoke to one vanlord and several individuals renting out RVs in varying states, some very well kept, others falling apart. None agreed to appear on camera as the issue is contentious and in some cases illegal. San Jose enacted a law last year to crack down on the practice of vanlording, banning people from renting out RVs as housing on city streets.
When people rent in apartments, there are rules they must follow. There are tenant rights, but renting in an RV doesn't really have the same protections, and it's very damaging for the people who are renting.
Cohen says there's also pushback in neighborhoods where RV communities
Now,
have
hold
become
on. Let me
entrenched.
show y'all something. That was at the freeway.
Cohen says that
this is what I was telling y'all when I was saying, hey, yo, when I went to go get on the freeway, I was in a, when I go to Los Angeles, I'm always security down. So my security was driving me through the streets because I wanted to see what was happening out in the streets. This is what it looked like across the freeways. Except for on the freeways and on the on-ramps and shit, it was motherfuckers living in caves and shit on the freeway on-ramp with the cars driving by. This was what it was looking like as I was driving down the freeway. I said, what is going on the sideways? This is what it looked like on the freeways, bro. California is in shambles, bro. California is in shambles. I was like, this can't be life. No way. This looked like Escape from LA with Snake Plissken. With Russell, whatever. I forgot what his name is. Something Russell.
there's also pushback in neighborhoods where RV communities have become entrenched. The city now has 2 safe parking sites that can house up to 128 RVs at a time.
We are trying to walk that balance between offering services, keeping our streets safe, and making sure that there are resources available for people who need it.
That's where this site comes in. It's funded by a city grant and is run through We Hope, a local homelessness nonprofit. Residents are provided a parking space for their RV for free.
I really like it here. They give us, they provide dinner, they provide breakfast, they provide the showers and the washrooms to wash our clothes and stuff.
Plus the community garden where Selena grows her vegetables, and even a dog park.
And so guess what? You know who's funding this? They say nonprofits. It all comes back down to you. It all comes back down to you. You guys, a lot of times these nonprofits get money from the city, and it all just goes into a cycle, into a circle, and it creates more of an environment for people to continue to do what they already been doing. Dog parks, all of that type of stuff. Man, this is crazy, bro. This is insane, personally. It's crazy.
Oh, there's Sugar. Hi, Sugar. He's still a puppy, believe it or not.
How the fuck y'all got time to be getting dogs, man? You know how much it costs to have a dog? Vet bills, food, shelter, all of this stuff, all of the apparatus that you need in order to keep the dog straight. How y'all be having whole pets and you homeless, bro? You don't have the capacity to be focusing on a pet if you homeless, bro.
You little ham.
Residents live here as long as they need to while they save money and search for a place of their own. And in exchange, they meet weekly with caseworkers who help them transition into traditional housing. There's no timeline for leaving, but most do within a few months.
Give me a second. Let me who that is. I don't know who it is. Counselor Garvey, how may I help you?
But not everybody gets access to free parking spots like Selena.
The price is $2,500 per month. That includes all utilities and taxes.
Once a low-cost...
Imagine paying $2,500 a month for a parking spot to sleep in. That is insane, bro. That is insane. Bro, if you are paying $2,500 a month for a parking spot to sleep in just so you can be out in California, your priorities are shot, bro. Seriously. Your priorities are shot. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way that you ever gonna see me paying $2,500 a month for a parking spot. And it's a waiting list. What is wrong with y'all? I think y'all are stupid in California. Something is wrong with y'all. Something is seriously wrong with y'all. I had to get my tags from a motorcycle. Something is seriously wrong with y'all. Ain't no way in the world that I'm gonna be sitting here paying $2,500 a month for a parking space. What's wrong with y'all? People is crazy. You paying $30,000 a year for a parking spot? Ain't no weather that good, real life PJ. Ain't no weather that good for me to be saying I'm gonna pay $2,500 a month for a parking spot. No weather. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Self-Made Forever says, what are your thoughts on Shira 7 saying sprinkle, sprinkle to her husband passing away? I don't speak on people and their loved ones personally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know her. I don't know nothing about her. And I know that she got a fan base. And no matter what, you know, if her husband passed away, I'm going to just say rest in peace. I stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay away from criticizing. Even if I don't care for somebody, which I don't not care for, like I don't think anything about her. I don't think her content is for me. And I don't know if that's true either. I don't know anything about that. But if that is true, then I'm going to just say rest in peace. I hope that she finds peace. I hope everything works in her life. And I don't have anything to say about that whatsoever. I don't know the context. I don't know anything about it. And different people deal with life events differently. Yeah, that's the way to put it. So God bless her. I hope that I hope that she finds peace, and I hope that everything works out for her. Anton out here on a Sunday. Get it, brother? Yeah, I had to do a makeup show for the people because it was some birthdays that I had to deal with. Marlo Reed. What up, Marlo? I appreciate you for holding me down, Marlo. Thank you, Marlo. I appreciate you, bro. Self-Made Forever says, with all of this homelessness that keeps rising state to state, what do you think the end game to all of this is? And will it ever make a comeback? Homelessness and poverty will always be amongst us. The word of God says it. How we manage it effectively, is how we need to deal with it. I would deal with it differently if I was a legislator than I think that most legislators deal with it. Lonnie says it is AD. She talked about it yesterday. Yeah, what does that got to do with me? If she talked about it, then what y'all asking me for? What is she saying? Whatever she said is what it is on her own situation. I don't have nothing to say about somebody else's loved one passing. You know what I'm saying? Now, if somebody get killed like the 21-year-old guy that tried to run up on Trump's property in Mar-a-Lago, that's a completely different conversation. But if she spoke on it, then she spoke on it. I don't have nothing to say about someone's loved one, someone's husband, someone's wife passing away. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's not my business. I do not care. Do not care whatsoever. That's not my business. I'm not speaking on none of that. That I think that different people dealing with all of that different ways. Maybe her fans or her people needed to know about it because maybe that's a way that she built their brand or something like that, but that don't have nothing to do with me. The cartel leader was just killed. MX is now hostage. Shout out to JP. I appreciate you. Chris Park says, don't know if you remember, I asked a question about Obamacare a few days ago. Can you go into how insurance used to be before the policy was enacted? Well, here was the biggest thing about Obamacare, Chris Parks, and thank you for reminding me. Here was the biggest thing about Obamacare. Obamacare came at a time in 2008 where all of the jobs were gone. So before Obamacare came, I'm not going to say insurance was great, but insurance rates were reasonable. And most insurance was taken care of through people's jobs. Now, one of the big things that was happening and one of the big things that Obamacare solved for was pre-existing conditions, which affected a minority of people that went to the doctor, right? And so what Obamacare did was force insurance companies to accept people with pre-existing conditions. And it was supposed to create a marketplace to make insurance rates go down because the Obamacare marketplace was supposed to allow for different insurers to compete with each other so that they can drive the prices down. Because as we all know, is more competition creates a better environment that then drives down prices and allows for people to get better rates. But it didn't do that. What it did was it started to penalize people and force people to get insurance that they couldn't even keep up with. So insurance rates skyrocketed. It gave more power to insurance companies. It gave more power to healthcare, right? As far as like the prescription companies, pill popping and all of that other type of stuff. And I think it created an environment that then not only raised the healthcare costs because it has skyrocketed tremendously since, it penalized people and it gave more power to the insurance companies and the healthcare companies. And so instead of it driving prices down, it mandated people and it drove the prices up. And it was horrible. And so now if you do your research, not only is insurance too high, but I think that if you start to parse it out and you start to actually price it out and pay for it individually, or you go with preventative care, or you get with concierge doctors, or you get your own healthcare plan, not with the insurance companies, but actually there's so many different providers, right? So many different doctors, so many different dentists that allow for you to actually get on a plan specifically with that dentist office or with that doctor. Really the only thing that you need insurance for, in my opinion, is if you have a pre-existing condition or something catastrophic, which you can get like some form of a catastrophic insurance plan also. And I think that that's only like $50 a month or something like that, like if you was to ever get cancer or something. But it screwed us royally, in my opinion. So I think that the better option is to not go with insurance companies, but to do your research to put together what's best for your family individually. Also, one of the things that Obamacare also did was allow for children under the age of, allow for kids to stay on their parents' insurance until they were 26 years old. That's another thing that it did. It allowed for people to stay on their insurance, on their people's insurance until they're 26 years old. So I think that all of these institutions need to be dismantled. The healthcare industry needs a revamp. It's so much that needs to be revamped. The Department of Education needs to be revamped. They need to tear that down and redo it because that No Child Left Behind shit is tearing us out the frame. It's a lot of things that need to be revamped in this country, but we're so resistant to change that we won't open up our minds to the possibilities of what if. I think it's cheaper for me to get insurance individually. I was paying way more through my employer and out of my own paycheck when I was working when I had a 9-to-5 than what I'm paying right now individually. Yes. And that's dental. I got a concierge doctor that actually comes to me and visit me in my office or visit me in my home. Preventative care. If you need any kind of prescriptions or whatever, let's say you go through something, you need a prescription. The cost for being able to get a prescription, paying out of pocket, a lot of times, depending on the prescription, is less than if you was to go through the insurance company. So you need to go and do your research. I did a whole show on this. I did a whole segment on this. Go and do your research. All right. Great question. Shout out to you, Chris Parks. Shout out to you, big dog. All right. All right. We got frame fights tonight, so I'm hoping to see a lot of y'all on frame fights. We're going to be talking about the videos. Let me see what we're going to talk about. What movies we're going to be discussing. I think we talk about everything Leonardo DiCaprio. Yep. The Departed, The Beach, and Shutter Island. Everything Cap. Frame fights. Shout out to my dog Slimmy. All right. Love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight. Peace.